How's it going, guys? In this video, we're going to give Pokemon's favorite champion, Cynthia, a spotlight. We're going to be going over the Cynthia's Garchomp deck, and we're going to be going over my deck list related to that post-Chaos Rising. Stay tuned, guys. Hey, what is up, YouTube? This is Platinum Point, and I'm here to bring you guys yet again another Pokemon deck profile. Today, we're going to be going over one of my favorite champions from the Pokemon series, Cynthia, specifically Cynthia's Garchomp deck. I've been wanting to do a video like this for a long time. In fact, most decks that I have in max rarity, but I only pulled one SIR of the Cynthia's Garchomp, and I'm keeping that in my binder so I don't damage it. One of my favorite SIRs. But the reason why I built this deck was mainly because, yeah, I love Cynthia. She is one of my favorite characters in the game and was one of my favorite champions to play. I know some people had traumatizing experience playing against her in Diamond and Pearl Platinum. I actually enjoyed playing her. She was one of my favorite champions. In fact, if I had to rank all my champions, she stands at #1 above everyone else, and mainly because she's really awesome. Like, I even liked her in the anime, and I liked her like when she was facing off against Ash in the Pokemon Journeys, I think top 8, I think it was semifinals, before facing off against Leon. And holy crap, that battle put me to the edge of my seat, because seeing Cynthia just drax everyone else and then going all out on Ash, only to have the satisfying victory for Ash with Lucario versus Garchomp. So hopefully they do a look at Ash's deck one day, but I kind of doubt it. But I hope you guys like this video. I appreciate you guys liking my Greninja video, as well as the Dragon Bolt, and as well as my other videos. If you guys want to see more Pokemon deck profiles and more commentary, as well as if you guys want to see me actually try out some of these decks, please comment in the description in the video below. I will be posting the deck list in this, either in the pinned comment or in the description, so that way you guys can see what I've been playing right now with this deck. So before we begin, make sure you like this video, false crack the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell for more updates if you guys want to see more of my videos. We're almost there at 1,000 subscribers, and I would love to get there soon. So without further ado, let's get on to the deck profile. So we're playing 4 copies of the Cynthia's Gible, which also leads into 4 copies of her Gabite. We play 4 copies of the stage 1 because of its ability Champion's Call. So what it does is you get to and it stacks per copy. So you get to search your deck for any Cynthia's Pokemon. So this is one of the reasons why you don't need to worry about Ultra Ball, because Champion's Call will search out everything in your deck, including her Garchomp, which is the stage 2 of the deck. So what makes this Garchomp really nice is it has 2 attacks. The first one is Corkscrew Drive, in which you get to, for 1 fighting energy, for 100, it deals 100 damage, and then you can draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. So it lets you refresh your hand, and then it lets you get out of hand disruption if you really need to. And for its second attack, for 2 fighting energy, it does 260, which is Dragonic Buster. That's 260, and then you remove all energy onto this Pokemon. So the point of this deck is you're leveraging Garchomp as your main attacker. And what Garchomp does is it pairs with her other support Pokemon, which is her Roselia to Roserade line. So her Roserade, which has the ability Cheer On to Glory, has the ability that attacks used by Cynthia's Garchomp, Cynthia's Pokemon in general, does an additional 30 damage. So when you have 3 of these out on the board, your attacks do an additional 90 damage. So your goal is to get 2 to 3 of this out on board. So your first attack becomes an easy 2-hit KO on most of your opponent's Pokemon. And if you need to quickly do a 1-hit KO, the Dragon Buster just becomes an easy KO against most Megas. especially if you have 3 on the board, because it knocks out most stage 2s and pretty much most megas in the format. So we're playing a 4-4-3-3-3 lineup. So Cynthia's deck is a unique deck where you don't run Pheasantipity because the ability to do damage relies on having multiple Cynthia's Roserades on the board. So which means you're going to be fighting for bench slots, which would usually be occupied by the Gabites, the Garchomps, and the Roserades. And sometimes this hurt the occasional supporting attacker, which is I run 2 copies of Cynthia's Spiritomb. So this one is your revenge attacker. For 1 energy, it does 10 damage times the total number of damage counters on all of my Cynthia's Pokemon. So easily, like if they get to, if both of my Garchomps have minimum of 100 plus 100 HP remaining, I can deal a total of 400 with a max of 600 onto my opponent's Pokemon with ease. So this is your revenge attacker, and it's a single prize one that also gets modified with the Cynthia's Roserade. So this is a secondary attacker that you can consider. I know most builds play 1, but I want to play 2 because just in case you have 1 stuck in the prize and I want to go for an easy revenge knockout. And I want to save my Garchomp from being killed easily next turn. So I'll attack with the Spiritomb, and it's fetchable by both the Gabite or Buddy Buddy Poffin, which is really nice. Next, I play 1 copy of Badoo. You need that for the item lock. And then 1 copy of Shaman. The reason why we play Shaman is since Slowbro is probably going to go up in the rise, and I suspect even Wellspring, Mask, Ogerpon going to be played in a lot of Terra Box decks and Raging Bolt. They love to target the bench, and that's the way to easily gain advantage against stage 2 decks, is target down the bench, and Shaman protects them early game so that you can successfully build your bench up and get whatever pieces that you need. This is just here also just to stop Slowbro from trying to get easy knockouts early game. Pardon me. We're also going to go over the supporters. I play 4 copies of Lily, 3 copies of Boss's Order, pretty standard. This one's kind of new. I'm playing 2 copies of Larry's Skill. So what Larry's Skill does is it allows you to ditch your hand, and for the price of that, you get to search your deck for a Pokemon, a supporter card, and a basic energy. So this allows you to set up your Garchomp, and then if you have to do early game, use Garchomp's first attack and draw it back up till you have 6 cards in your hand. So this is why you play Larry's Skill, because you can literally clear your hand, search your deck for your key pieces, and then replenish it with the Cynthia's Garchomp, which is really nice. So we play 2 copies of that so we can see it as often as we can. I play 1 copy of Hilda because this allows us to search our special energies, which is the Rocky fighting energy and the Neo upper energy. So this allows us to set that up really easily, as well as be able to dig for our missing evolutions that we need. And because we're playing a deck with a stage 2 attacker, I'm playing 1 copy of Rose's Encouragement, since it allows us, if we're behind but we're behind enough where all we need is a 2 prize knockout, and I'm not unable to get the 2 energies required for the Garchomp, I can just play the Rose's Encouragement, attach it to the Garchomp, and just swing for game if I can. This is just here just to get back advantage and also to do quick energy attach for quick knockouts. Next, for items, we play 4 Buddy Buddy Poffin, 4 Pokepad. We're not playing Ultra Ball in this deck because mainly you're just going to Pokepad into the Gabite, and Gabite is just going to search through the rest of your deck. And Pokepad's just here to get to the Gabite. Or if you need to, if you can, Gabite and Roserade, because you want to set that board up quickly, because after that you're just going to continually power spike in consistency as long as you can protect your board well and know when to time your aggressive moves. So overall, I really like this lineup for the consistency pieces. But now we're going to go into the damage modifier. Since Cynthia's Garchomp is a fighting Pokemon, we play 4 copies of Premium Power Pro. I know some builds only play 2, but I like to play 4 just because the Megas tend to hit HPs of 350 and up. This helps us at least close the gap. So like if we have multiple Roserades and they get very beefy at HPs, this will help me get to that amount and knock them out easily. Hence why I play the Premium Power Pro at 4, because it's just a useful way to power up the Garchomp in order to get knockouts on problematic Pokemon that could potentially screw up my streak. Next, we play 2 copies of Night Stretcher. Night Stretcher is a standard in most decks. It allows you to just get your pieces really easily. Then I play 1 copy of Special Red Card. I wanted to play a second one, but right now we're kind of tight in space. And if I were to cut anything, I'd probably cut the second Spiritomb to play another Special Red Card. But right now, 1 is testing fine has been doing fine in my testing. But overall, I think if hands need to be disrupted more often, then I'll creep this up to 2. Next, for my items, I only play 2 tools. I play 2 Cynthia's Power Weights. And then for my stadium of choice, I play 2 Gravity Mountain. This is just here to deal with a lot of the nasty stage 2 decks that are floating around, like Dragapult, and even to some extent the Hydrapple, the Arboliva, and even the Mega Venusaur decks, because it does hit weakness for Garchomp, since Garchomp's weakness is grass. So this helps me even the trade easier by having this out, plus a Premium Power Pro and 2 Roserades. I can knock out a Venusaur with ease and make the numbers nicer. And then for energy, we play 4 copies of Rocky Fighting Energy, which is basically your missed energy for fighting Pokemon, which is really nice. And then 4 Fighting Energy and 1 Neo Upper Energy. So overall, what I like about this list is that it takes advantage of what Cynthia does best, which is work with her Pokemon to gain successful at knockouts. And it reminds me a lot of the Cynthia's deck in the Sun and Moon era, which had a very similar mechanic where her Garchomp did damage, except it required you to use her supporter. But now they kind of retooled that kind of mechanic and gave it a new life with the Garchomp by adding in the rest of Cynthia's team. I was hoping they would add in her Gastrodon and Lucario, but I guess they didn't. But overall, what I like about this deck is it's just a really fun deck to play. And I know Japan and even in the West, we've been kind of messing around with this deck, and I think we're getting close to finding a right balance. And I think this is right now one of the better lists that I've seen. I will be messing around with other things moving forward because I just love Cynthia. Her deck, like, just not as a character, but also her deck is just a really fun deck to play with. I have so many friends that like to play this deck, and I learned how to play that deck just from watching them play. And even I've been playing it myself, not as much as Zoroark, but it is one of my favorite decks of the Journey Together and Destined Rivals block. So I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, false crack that like button, and I'll catch you guys later. So this is Platinum Point. Don't forget to stay on point, guys, and peace out, YouTube.